I want to talk to you about the things that are keeping you and I from accomplishing certain goals in our life. Have you ever found yourself writing the same goal on like a to-do list that maybe has been kicking around and being recycled for a half a year plus or longer? And whenever you look at it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, why hasn't this happened yet? Or why can't I seem to move the needle forward for this, whereas there are these other things in my life that are happening? Well, I have learned that there is a whole body of research to tell us why. And it comes down to this term called defensive failure. It was coined by this woman named Amanda Crowell. She is a cognitive psychologist. Google her if you want to learn more about this. Essentially, what our brain does is it will redirect and kind of and distract us from the goals that we have when it's time to go and do the work to prevent us from failing at them. Another word for this, I would describe it as procrastination. So hands up if you've ever suffered from procrastination every time you have to sit down and kind of do the work for the thing that you actually want to do. It's so strange. It's like we really want to accomplish these things, but then when it comes time to do it, it's like, why? Why are we then cleaning our whole house and, doing all this random shit, watching shows, cooking a meal, going to talk to whomever you can so that you can avoid working on this thing? It's true. It happens for everyone. I am so fascinated by it, and it's okay. Like, I think we need to take the judgment out of it. We need to take the shame out of it because it's natural. So speaking of that, I want to give you a few tips and little suggestions that you can try in your life if you ever find yourself kind of on this path, or maybe procrastinating, or having a goal that's kind of like been prolonged. Okay, so a really big one, and something that I've had experience with shifting in this space, is really getting in touch with your why. Now, there's something to pay attention to here, because I'm sure you're all like, okay, whatever, yeah, I get it. I have a why, but I'm still not accomplishing my goal. Well, the root underneath your why is very important. So you can have a why for your goals that is inherently extrinsic. So that means it is motivated by kind of external factors. To give you examples, like maybe you are after this goal for money, for monetary reasons. Maybe you're looking for status or acknowledgement or expertise or luxury item, like material items like a car, or so on and so forth. So or you just want recognition in a certain way from the outside world. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of this, right? And that's okay. I think it's good to have some of that as your motivation, but if that's the only thing that's motivating you, it's not very sticky. And it's not like really centered in like your heart and what you actually give a shit about truly, and it like deeply in our souls. That's like not gonna stick, and it's not gonna keep you going and reaching for your goals when shit is tough. On the other hand, you've got intrinsic motivation and a reason and a root behind your why. This is super important because it's coming from a place of your values, the things that root you in purpose, that light you up. And this could be something that motivates you through every kind of bucket of your life. Doesn't just have to be professional. It could be personal. It could be related to community things that you do, volunteering, your relationships, love, all of it. So you have to find the thing that kind of motivates you that isn't just tied to external validation, but it's tied to something that pulls you forward from the inside. It's something that you are moved to do. So that's this. To break it down even further, if it's extrinsic, then it's like you have these feelings of, I feel like I should do this thing. Where when it's intrinsic, the feeling there is, I want to do this. So to give you an example with Makers Co. and all of the community building that I do, if I was motivated by money, I would have quit already. It's been about 1.5 years, going on 2 years of building community, just because I needed that community when I started it. I needed the peer support and the camaraderie and the belonging. And so what really motivates me is helping myself to belong and feel supported, and empowering others to belong and feel supported and to get those resources. So that's what my big why is with all of that stuff. Number 2, you need to be recording your progress. That includes the mistakes that are happening. I think that there's so much shame that we have about, when we're working on our goals and we fail, or we try something and it doesn't work, doesn't land, and then it stops you from trying again. You get knocked out on your feet, and you might not even understand that this is happening. I know that in certain areas I pay attention and I'm like, oh yeah, I made a mistake there, or that launch flopped, or whatever, and then I will avoid it. I will run the other way because I feel some shame or embarrassment about it. But if you take a point of looking at failure as a good thing and you practice looking at it this way, it can really turn the tables for you and moving forward with your goals. So this is essentially bringing you from a mindset of, oh fuck, I failed, that doesn't work, I'm a failure, to what we call a growth mindset, where you're looking at each failure as like a stepping stone and a progress marker and a good thing because you're growing. That is what we want to look at our failures as. So I want you to think about it this way. I want you to keep track of every mistake you make. Keep track, and also if you have a journal, write down the ways that you failed, and then beside it, I want you to keep track of the effort that went into it, because eventually you're going to look back at that list and it's going to show you exactly how you built the thing and accomplished the goal. It wasn't just a one-step wonder to bring you to success. You had to fail all those times to really get it right and to make it happen. And as with everything in life and in nature, nothing stays the same, ever. We don't stay the same. Nature doesn't stay the same. Nothing is stagnant. And so I want you to keep that sort of sentiment in mind, is that everything is temporary. If you feel shitty, if you feel stuck, if you feel like something isn't working right now, just remember everything changes. Everything changes every single day. So pay attention to that, celebrate your wins, and record your effort, because that's what's going to give you perspective on all of it. And then also, this last little tip is I want to remind you that we are all here and built with the same toolkit. So we all have access to the same tools and we all have the same ability. I think we can get so stuck in imposter syndrome and comparing ourselves that we start to tell ourselves like, oh shit, I don't have what it takes, or I'm not special, or who am I to think that I can accomplish this? This is, again, it's built into our psychology and our brains, and we start to kind of tell ourselves these stories and we start to believe it, because the power of our minds is that whatever we tell it, it believes, and it will manifest and make true. All that shit that you see online, all those quotes, it's true. There is science that proves it. So I want you to remember that we are all here with the same capability to pursue our goals and our dreams. No one is more special or less special than you. You are unique, you are here for a reason, and you are meant to achieve those goals and have an impact on the world. So the root there is you have to believe in yourself. And here's my tip with this, is if you are struggling to have that confidence, to believe in yourself, to even believe that you can accomplish this goal, I want you to find other people like you. You need to find friends, find peers, find mentors, find people who are in the same space or that are working on the same types of goals, and create connection, create friendship, share what you're struggling with, and I guarantee you they will be able to give you feedback to let you know you're not alone, and they may even give you some of their experience and tips and tricks. After all, that is the beauty of community. It is the thing that has helped me time and time again, is when I'm struggling on a thing or I think I'm not able to do it, if I get around other like-minded people and I just kind of open up and share that, it is like so beautiful, the things that come out, and it gives you this like reinvigorated energy and belief in yourself. And if someone else is out there doing it, don't see it as competition, or don't let it discourage you. Let it remind you that if someone else can do it or has done it, that means you can too, because we are living in such an abundant world and universe. There is enough for all of us. So just keep that in mind, you guys. I know it is tricky, but defensive failure will try and stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. And there are things that we can do to kick it in the ass and say, get this shit out of here. Yeah, hopefully this has helped you. I'm going to stop because this video is getting a little long, but I wanted to remind you that there are things that all of us can be doing to accomplish our goals, and I want you to accomplish those goals. So let me know what you think of this. If you have other questions that pop up, drop me a line.